Hello, my name is Hana Rosli, and you guys are listening to Do Not Click.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Other than the fact that we are trying to secretly do this podcast in the library
Yes.
in Esplanade. So fresh off the competition, Elit Suria. Can you just briefly just explain what Elit Suria is?
Elit Suria is a Malay TV competition whereby you are needed to host. Before that, they're looking for a host also come actor, but we focus more of hosting. That is why we are trained in a way to be a host. Yes.
Initially, when I approached you to do this podcast, you asked me, is it in English or is it in Malay or something?
Yes.
Yeah, so initially I wasn't sure whether you are able to do a conversation in English like fluently, because
Yes.
after all the competition itself is in Malay, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but you seem to be you're doing very well, you can.
All right.
On the way to the Esplanade, we had a full-blown English conversation, so it's okay.
Yes.
Are you the only child?
For my family, I have 3 other siblings.
Okay.
I am like the second eldest. I
Alright.
have 3 other brothers, my elder brother and 2 other younger brothers. Yes.
Oh, there's a lot of brothers.
Yes.
So you're the only daughter.
Yes.
Okay. In the arrangement, what number are you?
I'm the second.
Your second child.
Yeah.
Okay. How does it feel to be a second child?
Actually, okay, this is the thing that I am not supposed to say into the open because my brother is supposed to be my cousin. My mom had a late birth. She couldn't conceive for like 7 years. And then he took in my elder brother. Before that, of course, I am the legitimate first child lah. Yeah. So I have like...
You didn't actually have to
yeah.
reveal this, but it's okay, right? I can put this.
It's okay.
I don't have to cut it
really,
out. Okay.
It's okay.
Were they very supportive when you entered the competition?
Yes, they were all very supportive because me and my family has always been very close, and I have never kind of be secretive in whatever like I do because they know that I love the arts, and since I've pursued like my degree in the arts as well, like they kind of understand like the passion driven in me. Yeah, so they were very, very supportive.
You did your degree in where, LaSalle?
Yes, I did my degree it's a bachelor's in musical theatre in LaSalle College of the Arts.
This is our first time meeting, right? What was your first impression of me when you first saw me?
Okay, at first when I first saw you, I was just like, because I saw your picture on like Instagram and whatever not, your WhatsApp photo, I was just like, okay, he's a cool guy, very, very cool guy. He's not really like, the typical Malay,
Cool guy.
I would say.
I'm definitely not a typical Malay, you're right.
Yes. And then when I meet you in person, I was just like, oh my God. Oh, okay.
Oh my
Okay.
god, handsome guy.
Like, eh?
No.
Oh.
No, so, hold on. What do you mean by typical Malay?
Okay, what I mean by typical Malay are those like, who dresses... Okay, this might sound a little bit like insulting. But
Stereotypes.
yeah,
stereotypical,
stereotypes. But like, typical Malays who like, macam okay tak, those kind of thing. But like, you're like more of... I can sense that you are like more liberated, and like the way you speak in English, there's like, there's like boundaries and this and that. There's respect. So it's kind of like, I'm just like, okay, I can, talk to him freely.
Nice. Okay. And you, on the way here, you did ask me how open or how honest can you be on the podcast. I almost said honest, but I think it's a silent H, right? It's honest. How honest you be can be. Are you like the troublemaker in Elit Suria, where they have to censor you or like?
What do you mean by troublemaker?
Like sit you down and tell you, hey, you're not supposed to be saying all this. Because I think I have this problem. I don't have a filter in my head.
Yes.
So I think in my previous employments, I've been told a lot of times that, hey, you shouldn't be saying this, shouldn't be saying that. I don't know if it's ethic or moral related, but sometimes at the end of the day, I feel like I do have
intentions.
Ill intentions, that's right. So, but sometimes I can come off as very rude or very upfront or very brutally honest. Yeah, is that you or what?
For me, I'm a realist. I believe that like whatever I said is whatever I've experienced and how I experienced it, and it's not like trying to put down anybody or any other parties. I feel that is how it is. That is how I see it. But I also have my own personal views and perspective. So, you know, the kind of things that I say may sometimes sounded blunt or like too
honest.
I'm very honest, outspoken. You know, there are things that I should filter, but at some points of time, I think in the era that we are in, millennials, I think we can just like say whatever we want. Not exactly. It's quite similar to having the freedom of speech, but also kind of know where you're coming from, and always whatever you're trying to state, you need to always have an evidence behind it. That's kind of like my perspective.
Oh, you can hear the library sound here. The announcement. Yeah, attention please. I took a bit of time to get a bit comfortable because
I can see that.
Yeah, so
I'm really sorry.
Because because I feel very hemmed up, you know, come here like looking for a location to do this podcast.
Yes.
And then I forgot it was Sunday, and then we have mates sitting around. I don't mean that in a derogatory way where I mean they need to have their off days, but I forgot that it was Sunday and the Esplanade was bustling with mates sitting down. Nothing wrong with that. No problem with that. I'm just saying that we couldn't find a quiet corner for us to do the podcast.
True.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry though.
No,
really,
one
really
day.
sorry I couldn't make it yesterday.
No. One day I'll have my own studio, so we don't have to hide around.
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah, one day I'll be able to do this full time. So I want to get your opinion on this. Like people like you and I, we are the special breed where we don't have filters in our head.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think for me, I think it is very important for us to be honest with ourselves and honest with people around us, especially nowadays, because I feel that, like, you know, everybody wants to be different, but why can't you be you? If everybody wants to be different, then you can be different as well by just being you. And I think that being brutally honest is important, because nowadays we are all fed with not exactly lies, but all filtered ideas, filtered kind of comments around about like certain like ideologies, theologies and whatnots. I feel that we kind of need that a little bit of like authenticity and honesty in terms of like expressing our own personal views, and that is very important. And that I strongly feel that, you know, kind of makes you be different in that way, having your own views. Yeah. And also, like, if you are being honest towards yourself and towards the people, like your audience, people will find like much more relatable towards you as a person. You don't have to be like, you know, an artist or whatsoever, but as a person, if you are true to yourself, it's kind of liberating nowadays, because everybody wants to be somebody else, somebody who is significant, you know. But being you, even though you are like very introvert, you know, you don't talk so much, you're not a social kind of beast, but like, you know, there's this like certain view or like principle in you that you kind of like stand on your own ground, saying that this is me, I don't care about whatever you guys want to say, these are my views, these are my perspective, and I'm being very, very honest. And that, I think, is the most unique kind of voice that is hard to come by these days. And I really, really applaud these kind of people.
I really agree with what you say, but I feel also at the same time, I personally need to be more sensitive to people's feelings, because I don't want to just be brutally honest and offend anyone I talk to, right? I need to be,
yes, of course.
I need to be, you know, hey, if I'm brutally honest and, you know, sorry.
I think there's a fine line of you knowing what is comfortable and what is not uncomfortable. Like,
exactly.
You know, because there are certain things that you can sense while you're in a conversation. Like, for example, like for me now with you, like I think if we are being brutally honest about, let's say, about anything, like about what we're wearing, even if like, oh, whatever you're wearing is so shit, you know, it's not.
Am I wearing something shit?
No. It's just an example. You're wearing black. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Anyways, yeah. But like, you know, this kind of things, especially, okay, for example, like the extreme sensitive, if you're talking about like, you know, gays in Singapore, about signing the petition of like not keeping out like gays, you know, those are a bit sensitive. But at the same time, like you can filter it, but also put in a kind of like a realist kind of connotation to that kind of remark that you're making, because I think we all need a voice to stand up for the community or like the society of people that we're in. Yeah, because in fact, like most of us nowadays, we are all like unique in our own ways.
Yeah, and not everyone is going to agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have this opinion you're entitled to your opinion. Not everyone's gonna agree with your opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's another thing for a person to learn because like, you know, some people think that like you need to kind of like, oh, this is my opinion and then you have to accept it because I think that's right. You know, but some people are just like, I have this opinion, these are my views, these are my principles. You can have any other opinions, but which you kind of like live off with. But you know, at the same time, like we are all different. We all have a certain say about a certain thing. So, you know, I think that is fine. Yeah.
Do you feel there are a lot of people like us who don't have filters?
I think there are a lot of people like us, but it's just to find the courage to speak up for who you really are and to speak up for the society or like the community you are like kind of representing. Yeah.
Everybody wants to give a good presentation of who they are, right?
Yes.
Especially on social media nowadays.
Yes.
If you're an influencer or whatever, you don't want to be
perceived of as someone who is like a bad kind of
Yeah.
person or like perceived. You need to always have that kind of, I would say it's a social mask that people wear, you know, just to appear good.
That being said, I do, you know, respect to people like Shia and Dikosh who, you know, who speak their mind on social media.
Yes.
You know, and they could have been probably be more successful if they had a filter, you know, and say the nice things, but because they are so liberal and open,
yeah,
there's a give and take lah. The charm that people like them because they speak their mind and they beat to their own drums. But at the same time, sponsors may not like it, you know?
Yeah, true that. Because recently, okay, let me just add on to that. Recently, I had a kind of breakout.
A breakup?
No, not breakup.
With a guy?
No, not breakout. Breakout. Because
like
I was just like, no, as in, okay, what I meant is a breakdown. A mental breakdown.
Oh,
I was
mental
just
breakdown.
Like, yeah, I was just so angry about a certain thing, and then I kind of posted it up. This was before APM, Anugerah Planet Music.
Oh, you're talking about
award.
Instagram, is it?
Yes. So I was unhappy, and when I'm unhappy, the thing for me is that I will be very outspoken about what I feel about a certain thing, and then I express it. But that being said as well, you know, there are certain things that I say may not be nice or may be perceived like in the Malay community, especially now that I'm like, you know, the winner of Elit Suria, like I cannot use like the F word, you know, this kind of thing. But for me,
they expect a certain sort of standard from you.
Yes, you know, you can speak as much as you want. You can speak up your mind as much as you want, but just don't use the F word.
Are you prone to throwing out F-bombs?
Oh, yes. Because, you know, coming from like where I come from, like, you know, we're used to that kind of like social kind of like
I feel like the F word really adds a bit of oomph, like, you know what you want to say.
Yes.
Like if you want to say this pancake is great, but if you say this pancake is fucking great, then you know it makes it sound like it's really good, you know.
It's different when you say, but you know, just because it's like a bad word to social, like, you know, social, like the normal people, like they will always say, oh, fuck is like a very like a bad word. Why is she saying fuck? That is like not how, like, you know, she should be talking, you know. But for me, I just feel that, like, you know, by saying that, it's just I'm just emphasizing on how angry I am.
You know, I feel like there's one thing that I've learned that stuck to me for a long time, and I've learned this from a podcast as well. See, I can't speak shit. I've learned this from a podcast as well. There's no such thing as a bad word. There's only bad intentions.
True.
Yeah. So if you want to use the F-bomb to insult someone, you know, that's wrong, right?
Yes.
But if you use it in a context of like, you know, to describe something, I think that's alright.
Yeah, because for me, okay, not because like I have a background in, you know, learning about how do you speak, like, you know, proper speech, formal speech, you know, in English, but I think that your intonation is very important. And as you say just now, like your intentions, right? You know, when you have the right intentions and when you speak it out loud, it will sound very different. So I think intonation, like your tonality especially, if you mean it well, it will come off well.
Yeah, that being said, if I say this around the house, my mom will not hesitate to smack my head, you know. Or my dad will like throw his shoe at me or something. Yeah,
but nowadays, like, my mom don't give a shit about me because I was just like, you know, I would talk to my brothers, like, you know how we are, you know.
Yeah. When I was young, I was taught that if I say a bad word, it's a sin. We are taught that, you know, sin is a countable thing. It adds up lah. In a lifetime, you accumulate the number of sins or the number of good deeds that you do. When you die, it's going to be calculated or whatever. Yeah, so I'm in this dilemma where I was born in this world, in the media world, where I watch all these movies where they throw F-bombs. Like even kids, I don't know whether Kids Central or like maybe not Kids Central.
Not Kids Central.
Maybe
not the ones in Singapore.
but even PG-13 shows are shows where they throw F-bombs. You know, so the censorship has slackened, I guess, as this day. So it's not surprising to see young primary school or secondary school kids just saying the F word.
Yeah, but that's the thing, you see, because right in our society, like where like our technology is advanced, right, like we have YouTube, we have all these like Spotify and whatnot, you know, like songs, you know, they translate whatever the singer wanted to say about like a certain kind of like social issues or political issues, you know, but sometimes like they use all these kind of like F words, you know, or like motherfucker or like whatsoever, like, you know, to emphasize on whatever they're trying to say. That doesn't mean that, like, you know, they don't mean well, but at the same time, like, kids nowadays, they learn like very fast, like these kind of things, like, you know, they love music is like an in thing nowadays. So like when, you know, kids like learn these kind of things, like it's natural in them lah. You cannot stop them, but they need to know the boundaries whereby like, okay, when do I use this word, when do I not use this word, and when can I use this word? So I think that is very important. And I think like in this generation, like, you know, the other kind of like platforms like music and whatnot need to really know how they kind of like educate the kids nowadays. Yeah,
I like it. We've been speaking for 20 minutes. We haven't even talked about Elit Suria yet.
True.
Yeah, but
so many things.
Yeah, but that's
exciting.
That's what I like. I like deep conversations. Let's get into Elit Suria a bit.
Yes. Yeah. Do you need me to speak in Malay?
Are you comfortable? No, the English listeners might riot. Okay, so how do you first find out about the competition, Elit Suria?
I first found out about Elit Suria from the TV. You know, they come up with like the ads, you know, we have this competition, this and that. The registration opens this date and it closes this date. So I was just like...
You still watch television?
Not watch, exactly, but like, you know...
I haven't turned on the television for years and years and years.
My mom and dad like kind of watches, my mom especially, because she's like, you know, she's literate only, so she like, you know, she kind of watches Malay kind of shows a lot more than the rest of us.
I mean, my parents do watch television, but that's what they grew up with. They are not tech savvy, so internet is not a thing for them, really.
True. So then while like, you know, the advertisers like comes out and then I just walk past and I was just like, oh, Elit Suria akan membuka like registration, blah 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 blah. Then I was just like, oh, this would be a perfect platform for me to kind of show what I can do, you know, because although they might be looking for like hosts, because I've done like acting, like I have acting background before in theatre and TV, so I'm just like, you know, it might be a good platform for me, not to just like kind of show what kind of talents I have, but to also like create like this platform whereby, you know, I've just graduated being a performer, so, you know, kind of drag like having like people to know me and to know what I do exactly in terms of art form wise. Yeah.
Initially, I thought it was a singing competition. Almost right before I hit the record button for the podcast, you said, oh no, Elit Suria is not a singing competition. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Because how I got to know about the competition is through IG stories of Farhan Shah and Rauzan. Because I think they had some involvement in the show. And because they are all music related performers,
yes,
I initially thought that, you know, it was like singing competition. And also I know that Aisha Aziz also made a guest appearance.
Yeah, so they all came in to like sing.
So that's the correlation. I thought. Also, all these singers are there, so it must be another Anugerah or another Singapore Idol or whatever. So it's actually a hosting competition.
Yes, it is.
And also looking at the judges, I was like, how is this a singing competition? It's hosted by Najip Ali.
Yeah,
I think
no, it was hosted by Nurul Aini and Fauzie,
but it was judged by Najip Ali and
Khairudin Saharom and Nuraliza Osman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very familiar people, but again, because I don't watch television, I don't know who they are. Yeah. I do know Najip Ali because he's a legend in Singapore, right? He's been around since like Asia Bagus, you know that. I think he's super overqualified to judge. He's like the judge.
His birthday is like the same as Singapore's.
Really? He's on National Day?
Yeah.
Fun fact.
So he practically kind of grew up with Singapore, so he's kind of sentimental.
Oh, as in he's the same age as Singapore or what?
I think he grew in like his birthday is the same birthday as like a Singaporean.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so how was it like? How was the first day?
You were talking about like the audition?
Yeah, did you have to go through like an audition where there's like thousands of people who applied, and then everyone is filtered. They pick like a bunch of people they think is qualified.
Yeah. For me, on the first day of auditions, I had no idea. I was just like, okay, you know what? I may not be the most Malay person in this like competition anymore.
I may not be the most Malay person in this competition because they are looking for a Malay person.
No, because it's a Malay channel, you see. Because I'm like, I feel I'm too liberated just because like from where I come from, my views changed a lot after I studied in LaSalle and certain perspectives as well. So you know, there are certain mannerisms in me may not be pleasing to the Malay community.
Alright.
Yeah, because I'm too open. So then on the first day of audition, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking try. If I'm not gonna like be chosen, I understand that. And because I'm a professional, maybe like, they don't want me. So I was there and I was just like, okay, let's try this. So when we went up, they have a lot of security kind of issues. You need to change your pass, and then after you tap in, like, it's like the MRT. Oh my God, so systematic, so Singaporean. I mean, and then we went up. We went to this kind of discussion room. We were given like a red and a blue paper. One of it is a hosting link with like a dialogue in Malay, and then of course the other color will be an acting kind of monologue that we have to do. Of course they put in a scene of like, okay, this is the scenario, this then a scenario, and then if the judges like you or not like you, they may just like cut in, or like they can add on certain like ad-libs that you may do, and then we have to do a kind of like fashion model runway thing where they want to see how we present ourselves, how confident we are to walk like a model.
A runway?
Yes.
So let me get this straight. So initially it was a competition to find the next actor/host.
Yeah. Also not that. I think it's mostly in general like the new face of Surya. Yes, that is what they wanted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is the current face of Surya? Is there anyone who's the face? Aaron Aziz?
I don't think so because he has already moved on.
He's transcended.
Yes,
he's transcended to Malaysia,
to the Malaysian industry. So, but the new face of Surya, I cannot say anybody apart from like probably Nurul Aini, but I think it's just her face.
Right now, if you were to ask me to name a guy from Surya that I know, it will be Suhaimi Yusof. Either that or Alias Kade. But these are just old veterans of Surya. Again, this is during the times when I do watch TV.
Yeah, but
so I don't know who.
These are the kind of like qualities, if you ask me like, oh, they're looking for a new face. So what is your definition of new face, or who do you think is the new face of Surya before you guys came in? Honestly, I have no freaking idea. Because when they are saying about like, talking about like new face, it means like they have to have like a star quality, right? So honestly speaking and bluntly speaking, I cannot see anybody that is the face of Surya as in a whole who represents Surya. Because for me, to be a representative, you need to be kind of like good in certain, or like knowledgeable in every aspect of especially performing arts.
You need to be as Malay as can be.
Half, 50-50 agreeing to that. Because for me, I feel that like, yes, they want a Malay, but they want to also move on from that, and they want someone who is able to kind of like
appeal to everyone else.
Yes, appeal to everyone else.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and appeal to the performing arts community, because at the end of the day, they are kind of pushing the arts, but in a soft media form, which is TV.
Yep. And also we did discuss about this, where I felt that if they were to promote the show more on a social media platform, it would have been much bigger than they are.
True. I think they are too caught up about like TV and still thinking
the
that
television
like,
formula.
The television is like everybody watches television in Singapore. Yes, but not that much. I think social media nowadays, oh my God,
it's the thing, right?
Yes, it's the in thing. Oh my God, like seriously, like Kim Kardashian. Okay, that's the only thing that I can think of right now. Even the president in the US like uses like okay, if it's
president
not
in the
Instagram,
US.
you can use like Twitter.
or Facebook or YouTube.
Facebook. Yeah.
YouTube stars, Vine stars. Even those Vine where it used to be the 15 seconds Snapchats each videos. There are people who got really famous because of that.
Yeah, precisely. So I'm like quite shocked why they didn't use those kind of like, social media platforms to like kind of like push their
envelope
viewing ratings and whatsoever not.
Okay, so getting back to the competition. So overall it was a great experience, right?
Yes.
Walk me through the first week. What was expected from you? What did the whole competition entails from the week 1 to week 8?
So you're talking about like the live show onwards.
Yeah, so after you got through the auditions, where do you go from there?
Okay. Let me just be honest. For my audition, like I only went through the first phase, and then after that, they told me that I was in the top 16 already. Not even the top 40s. I'm in the top 16.
They like you that much?
I think so, because when
your non-Malay vibes didn't work against you.
Precisely. You know what? Because on that audition, I was just like, you know what? If they're gonna talk to me about perspective and whatever not, I'm gonna speak to them in English. You can't lie. I know we need to push on, like, the bahasa Melayu and whatnot. But kids nowadays, the millennials nowadays, we tend to speak English most of the time.
You say millennials, you're 23 years old, right? Aren't you a millennial?
Yeah, that is why I'm just saying that, like, we millennials, we don't speak Malay all the time. We speak English. And the education system in Singapore, English is our first language, blah, blah, blah. So, yes. So, that's when I think Suhaimi, when he asked me about a certain perspective of Suhaimi Jais.
Okay. Yes. I thought you said Suhaimi Yusof. Sorry.
No.
Okay, sorry.
He was there, and then he asked me, so what is the difference between TV and theater? So then I explain a lot. TV is soft media, everything is all about like little tiny details. It's not about exaggerating of like your drama. But in theater, it's all about vocal. You're being big as an actress, whatever not, and everything is live. You get what I mean? So yeah, after that I was just like, okay. And then he said, you know what I really, really liked about you? I think like you have this certain like vibe and certain kind of perspective in you that you hold on to that is really appealing. And that was when I was just like, okay. Because in my mind, I thought I was just like, I'm just doing my best. After this, I'm going to graduate. I'm going to go out in the professional world. Like, I need to do my best. So then they called me up for top 16. And then I was quite happy. But I didn't know what to expect. Because honestly, in real life, I don't have that much Malay friends as well. So coming to a Malay society,
we sound like we come off like we are anti-Malay, but I hope nobody gets that from this competition or takes that in context, because we are just saying that we are just different.
Yes, we are very, very different.
This is in no way like we are bashing Malays.
No, definitely not.
Just need to clarify that because I'm just afraid that listeners think that's what we are about.
Yes. So I do agree that like at a certain point we do speak Malay. We are still Malay. We do keep the Malay culture. Like, we like food. Anything that is about food, we like.
Yeah.
Anything that is about like, they have this kind of stereotype whereby like Malay lepak one corner, those kind of thing. We all still lepak at the corner, guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, we are at the corner in the library right now.
Actually, yeah.
I mean, not literally at the corner, but we are like, the term lepak one corner would fit what we are doing now.
Yes, precisely. So as we progress on, and then like, the first week of masterclasses going on, we learn a lot of things. Of course, I need to speak in Malay, and that my command of Malay, especially standard Malay language, is not really, really good. So I have to switch a lot, and it is very uncomfortable for me. Yes. So I tried to kind of change it, practice it at home, watch like kind of Malay videos, info ads in Malay, trying to like read the newspaper, like the Berita Harian, which I haven't touched for a long time. And then we came to the live show, which is episode 1. And all these kind of things, they will give us like a brief of like, okay, first week we have this theme and this theme and this theme. Every week we have different themes, and then we have to adhere to. We have to do interviews with be it like videotapes, VTs, which is beforehand. Okay, probably not live yet at that point of time during episode 1. So we need to do a lot of VTs. So we need to come up with like questions in Malay. We need to be able to like kind of connect with our own partner while we're doing interviews with like, the guest artists or like guest speakers, whatever not. So there's a lot of things to learn. And while you're being a newbie, like for example, like during shoots, when you meet people, there's a lot of like communication going on, which I think that is vital for like this kind, and it's heavy in this kind of competition, which I really appreciate that it happened, the process of it, the learning process. And yeah, everybody was hungry at the same time. Although they are being competitive, we are also like being like supportive towards each other and trying to get to know each other's background and how we can help each other, because at the end of the day, when we started off episode 1, it's not only about you individually, it's about us as a whole, putting like, you know, a performance. At least that was my mindset, my perspective. So then during the first performance, we couldn't even think like about, oh, you know, Aisha Aziz came in, Farhan Shah.
No time to be starstruck.
Yeah, we had no time to be starstruck. I'm so sorry, but actually I am starstruck, but you know, we have too much in our mind.
Aisha Aziz is a goddess. I don't know how people are not mesmerized in her presence.
Yes, but she, at that point of time, I think she was also like concentrating on her performance, you know, putting up a good show. So we kind of understand that. We kind of understood, but I think like we were all like mature. This is the thing that I wanted to say. Like the competition itself, like all of my competitors, okay, not competitors, maybe. Well, what is that word?
Competitors lah.
Okay, fine. Competitors, like, okay, fine. Competitors in a positive note. Okay, anyways, yeah, my competitors are mostly like, you know, professional and mature. They know when and where to act. They know when and where to not say a certain stuff or not to do anything exaggerating.
They are well behaved.
Yes. On stage, like off stage as well. Although like most of them actually, they don't have performing background, but I'm glad that they're easy to work with.
Are a lot of them much older than you? Age-wise, are you the youngest?
I'm not the youngest. The oldest is 27.
Which is Hans.
Yes, which is Hans.
And also the winner of the Elit Suria.
And the youngest is Farah Nur Madina actually, which is 20 or 18 years old. Yeah, she's super young and fresh. Yes. So I'm kind of like middle. Me and Amira Mustafa, we're like similar age. Yeah, and the rest are all around there. Yeah, so we're quite comfortable. We have this like kind of respect, but we also don't like, you know, call each other kakak or abang, you know, this kind of thing. It's so like...
What do you call each other by names?
Yeah, we call each other by names. Yeah, or like kawaku. Yeah, but you know me, I don't... That's the thing about me. I don't like, you know, there's certain things in Malay language, for example, like kawaku, that I don't like to address people with, because I just feel that it's a bit rude.
Oh, this actually brings up a good topic for me to say. Initially, I get weirded out when guys say you and I. So, you know, when guys, they say in Malay, but they address each other, me and him, as you and I. You know, like how couples do?
Yeah, like, oh, you boleh buat ni tak?
Yeah, you dah makan. Like,
oh, I cannot speak that way.
Yeah, but so initially I got weirded out when guys say that, because I correlate that to being, because that is like sacred for couples, you know, that you and I.
Yeah.
There's nothing sexual in that context. This is just saying you and I in a comfortable way. Yeah, but that's neither here nor there. But
yeah, for me, usually like when I speak to them, but that's the thing, you say, I speak to them in English, but there's a certain point of time whereby they're like, we need to speak in Malay more, right? Because
it's a Surya.
It's a Malay competition. We need to be a host in Malay. Now it's just like, oh yes, yeah. Certain parts of me, I was just like, yes, that's right. But like, you know, when we were talking about like ideologies, you know, theologies, like we need to kind of speak it in English because it's much more easier, much more fluent. Because Malay words, there are a lot of things in Malay words that has a lot of nuance, which like has a lot of meaning. So you need to use the right Malay word. If you use the wrong Malay word, it will come out a bit too strong, a bit too bold, or like too sentimental of a value in like behind it.
Okay, give an example.
Certain things like, okay, why do I have the word kesinambungan in my head? Kesinambungan means continuity, for those of you who doesn't know. But
very strong Malay word.
It's really, you get what I mean, like continuity. You can just say continuity, but kesinambungan, it sounds so formal, it sounds so standard, it sounds so important. You get what I mean? The credibility of like words. I don't know. But yeah, certain like, okay, like for example, okay, now I can think. For example, like the word cinta. Like aku cinta kamu. Nobody says that anymore.
Which means I love you. Cinta means love.
Yeah, but you know, we like now we maybe say aku sayang kamu atau aku sayang kau. Like, you know, this kind of thing. It's the same meaning. Cinta and sayang is love, you know, but like cinta
synonyms.
is much more, you know, formal, standard Malay, but like sayang is more of like, you
informal.
know, informal, and it's easier to kind of like, you know, say it out loud rather than cinta. Cinta is so drama. That is so drama.
Again, sayang is like if you address your girlfriend or boyfriend.
Like, but you can say that with cinta as well.
Hi cinta.
Yeah, but it's so like, you know,
that's weird.
It's so like
cringe.
Yeah, it's so cringy.
Yeah.
It's so sappy. Yeah. But not saying that it's a bad thing. It's a good thing. But yeah, it's Malay can come out like a bit too strong sometimes lah. So you know, it's easier to speak in English, like how you say fuck, like fuck you, or like you can just say fuck. You know, it sounds different. Yeah.
I like fucks. Okay.
What?
So, as the competition progresses and your relationship with your fellow contestants gets deeper, right?
Yeah, we're kind of like bonded and we know each other very well.
Having formed relationship with your fellow contestants throughout the weeks, was it hard for the fact that they had to one by one be eliminated from the competition? Was that a very difficult process?
I think for us, like I said just now, like most of us are like very mature. We know that it's a competition. At some point of time, we're gonna be eliminated, you know, because, you know, there are certain things that's in us that maybe is not like consistent, or like, you know, certain things the judges don't like, or like certain things we can't do, or like we just don't look the part. But we are still very supportive towards each other. And of course, no matter how supportive we are, each of us are very competitive in our own ways, and we kind of respect that.
Everyone joins to win it, as much as everyone wants to make friends, but you know, everybody's out for themselves.
Because in this industry, no one is your friend, and like I've learned that the hard way. So for me, it's fine to be alone. I don't care if you like me or you don't like me. You wanna hang out with me, you wanna chill with me.
You're not paying your bills.
Yeah, precisely. Because all I know here, this is my career, I've chosen it, and this is my industry, and I know it. I'm gonna be here no matter what. If I'm gonna get eliminated as well, I will still be in the industry around doing something, and I am very confident of that. So, but yeah, it wasn't that hard, but we do know who we should be aware of, who we should not like talk to too much, because, you know.
Hey, hold on, this sounds very gossipy. Oh,
not gossipy.
Who do you need to talk to and who do you need to stay away?
No, because it's a competition. As like I said, what I meant is that, you know, there are certain people who gives like very wrong vibes, and whatever they say just kind of wants to pull you down.
As in contestants?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And of course, like, you know,
we're not gonna name names, so
yeah, of course, I'm not gonna name names, but yeah, because like I said, they want to be competitive. We are all competitive, even I am. Okay, so like, yeah, there are certain things that we can like, you know, talk about to each other. We talk about, but if there's not much things to talk about, like, you know, we're just like, oh, okay, is that what you think it is? Oh, okay, sure. Like, we kind of give each other constructive criticisms, but there's also an understanding whereby, you know, certain people will ask certain people of their constructive critiques, but certain people will just not approach certain people to, like, you know, talk. It's normal.
Scared they sabotage each other, is it? They want to see you do well, but not too well.
Not better than that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's a very hard dynamic when it comes to making friends.
Yeah, but of course it keeps up, you know. It's like, you know, it's a healthy competition. You should keep up the healthy competition, unless when it gets unhealthy, then you need to address it. Yeah, when it comes to a point where maybe someone wants to outshine above everybody else, then it's a bit too ridiculous lah, of course. And that's when, like, maybe the higher uppers need to like come down and like kind of to talk about it. But otherwise, it's fine to be competitive. Yeah.
What was your relationship with the judges or maybe the host The host is Fauzie, Laily, and
Nurul Aini.
Nurul Aini. Do you have any form of relationship with them? The hosts?
For me, for the hosts, and the hosts, we met them only during like throughout the competition, the live shows. But for the judges, we've met them even before, but we didn't have like a personal kind of like friendship with them. It's mostly professional and like, you know, kind of mentorship kind of thing. So we ask this and that, but we didn't like, you know, kind of approach them personally. If we need to, then it's during the masterclasses. But this one is, I'm not sure. But for me, I didn't have a close like kind of friendship with them.
Any of them have taken a liking to you? Like they look at you and they're like, you're definitely the winner, or like, you know, you're the one. You're the one we're looking for.
Okay, that one.
Do you think like any of them had an eye for you?
Yeah, kind of thing. I think for me, professionally, I could see that Nuraliza and Najip. Yeah, because why I say so, because Nuraliza is all about, you know, model, you know, all about like you walking confidently and
swagger.
Yes.
Is that swagger?
Not of a swagger. I think more of a, you need to have that poise of a model, but not to be a model. You know, host, you need to present yourself very well because you are the representative.
I don't think I'll be a model anytime soon because I don't have that poise.
And maybe because of the height, because I'm like among the tallest, I'm like the tallest among the other girls, so maybe yes. And because I've done a few like modeling, not competitions, but I have like a few kind of gigs which needs me to be a model, you know, a model for like designers, clothing and whatnot. So yes, I think in that way I came off very confident when I walk and when I like kind of pose. So I think she likes it a lot, and she can see that like, you know, if I can be confident in this manner, not being a model, I can be very confident as being a host. For Najib Ali, I think because Najib Ali is a very wise person, he is full of insights because, you know, he has years and years of experience, even as a musical theatre performer, as a director, producer and whatnot. So I think whenever he gives us advices or whatever not, it's so concrete because he knows what he wants to say, he knows how he does it before, and he lives by it because he knows that it has helped him, it has guided him to be who he is right now. So, you know, and you know me, I like to kind of speak in deep terms, you know, kind of explain myself. It's like I have a lot of nuance in everything that I do. These kind of things are like the guidelines that I have been following. So I think we kind of understood each other in terms of like our perspective. We are very insightful and whatever not. So the knowledge is there. And me and Najib, I think we have similarities whereby like, you know, when you have knowledge about yourself, you are knowledgeable enough. I forgot what his quote was, but it was around that line. It was about like, you know, if you know, if you are like, you have that self-awareness about yourself, that means you are knowledgeable, like you have enough knowledge to kind of teach people. Because, you know, some people, they know a lot of things, like their IQ is super high but their EQ is super low, whereby they don't realize that they are actually like, you know, kind of contradictory to like what they are actually doing. Right. So that is not having like this like self-awareness of themselves to be able to
not open-minded to other people's opinion.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, I get it. I got you. In which week or which part of the competition that you feel like you've got this in the bag, in hindsight, that you could actually win this competition? Was there a point that you realized that you could be the winner?
For me, I feel like I was confident in terms of my performance. All I can think of is to be a good performer, to put on a good show. But I wasn't thinking of like being the winner. See, the thing about people is that they need to change the fact that it doesn't mean that you've won something. You win everything. What I mean by everything is that you win the hearts of the crowd, the audience, or like you win the hearts of like the production house, you know, your family and friends, whatever not, and like of course professional associates, you know, industrial associates, just kind of things. And like I feel that wanting to win is so shallow minded of a perspective, because I feel that like, yes, you win, you get the money. It's a good,
there was money involved.
Yes, 10K. So you can build like, you know, a good platform for yourself, like a foundation for you to start off, to kickstart your like journey in Surya or whatsoever as an actress or like host. But at the same time, you have to think about it, because like, you know, some people say like, you know, oh, most of the time when they have like competitions, like the winners always kind of like ghosts away, like don't know where they go, or like they disappear, went to studies, or like
Hadi Mirza
get married. I shall not name names, but like, yeah, what I meant is that, but like, you know, as sometimes people just want to win, to have that winning title in their life. To them, it's like, I've reached my milestone, this is it, I'm good, and like I'm just gonna stop here. I don't want to achieve anything else. But for me, I don't think winning is important, because the moment I know that I fulfill the things that I want to achieve as a personal growth is winning to me. So during the competition, like I think episode 6, I can't remember quite in details, but like I don't feel confident in winning, because I know that my Malay language, it sucks. I mean, yeah, so
it fucking sucks.
it doesn't fucking suck. But there's room for improvement. Not that I like they can use me like straight off to kind of be interviewed, you know what I mean? So, but then like I am confident that I want to do a good performance, because I'm a performer, and I wanted to show that it's not about winning. What for you want something, and then at the end of the day you're not going to be involved in the industry, because at the end of the day the industry is my career. Yeah, so for me, but I was confident in the last app, whereby I feel that like, you know, I'm quite calm and everything is set out clearly. So there might be chances that I win, but I wasn't putting that much hope or like having expectations to like, you know, win that competition. Yeah.
The experience that comes off from the competition was more important for you rather than the victory.
Yes.
I mean, the victory itself is a bonus. I mean, it would be sweet to get that 10K.
Yes.
You know, like
more,
government money.
Mm-hmm, but it's more of the journey to me, because I don't know like nowadays people like, you know, kind of value winning, like face value.
You're right.
So
you know,
much.
I came off from a boxing background. I worked in a boxing gym for 3 years. Everybody wanted to join the competition just so they can win. But, you know, it wouldn't have mattered if it was against a worthy opponent. If I had 3 years of training, I wouldn't want to be fighting in a competition against someone who was in a week of training. You know, and if I wanted a match against someone like that, like what would that have mean, you know?
Yes.
So to me, I sometimes don't see the point of competing or winning just so, you know, for the sake of winning. What do I actually learn from the competition? You know, yesterday I was in the boxing event where Ridwan, he had a world title fight against Paulus Abunda.
No idea who they are.
That's alright.
I'm following you.
You do have your pulse in the boxing scene. But in hindsight, yesterday Ridwan lost that fight. But the opponent had twice the experience that he had. To me, even though Ridwan didn't win that competition, the experience that comes off from going through the 12 rounds with that guy, there's so much to learn from it. He's going to come back stronger. If there's ever a rematch, he's going to be well prepared. He's going to come back with better strategy. And that's what matters, because that's what's going to make him a better boxer.
True. It's sometimes, you know, people who like kind of who didn't win a competition, they are much more driven than the ones who are winners. Not saying that I am not a driven person. I am very driven. What I'm saying is that, like, you know, when they feel a certain thing, like, you know, there's this saying of like, you know, fall 7 times,
get back up 8.
Stand up 8, right?
Yeah. That particular quote is in Ridwan's gym.
Oh,
so
okay.
Coincidence.
See? It's true, you know, because the thing is like, you know, people wanted to win so much, but when you fail, you have a lot of things to learn, you know, not only about you, but about the competition, about your opponent, and about like, you know, boxing as a whole. You need to learn why you cannot win, why you've won, maybe the experience, whatever not. But like, these are the values that nobody can teach you, and only by failing that it can teach you all these kind of values. And that will motivate you to become a better person, a better opponent, a better contestant. Yes.
I'm having a very good time having this conversation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm also having a good time, actually.
Yeah, it's very nice to see someone who has this perspective. Winning is not everything. Winning is great, with the prize money, it helps.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's very good that you point out that the journey matters. So what's next for you?
What's next for me? For now, because before Elit Suria, I do have offers from like Toggle, Channel 5 for a certain drama series and whatnot, that I have to turn them down, which is fine.
Why?
Oh, because I cannot, in the contract of Elit Suria, I cannot be like...
You'll be breach of contract.
Yes,
okay.
Of course, because it has like, something got to do with my image and whatnot, kinds of clash.
Is there a bond that you have to sign? Like, there's
a terms and condition. I would say that not exactly a contract, because the clauses are not based on like contractual kind of agreements. It's more of like terms of and conditions of like, you have to be well behaved. You cannot like kind of like do the kind of things outside of like, Surya and whatnot while you are in the competitions, which is fine to me. So yeah, I have to turn like those offers down. And then after, I freshly graduated as well from musical theatre, and so now I have not two offers. I have 2 auditions. I got shortlisted for 2 auditions in theatre. One is from Singapore Repertory Theatre, doing a little company show. But then like the dates kind of clash with my drama, which I am doing, a Malay drama called Rapu. It's 8 episodes. It's by, the director will be Faisal Isha. I will be one of the main supporting alongside Ati Malik. Yep, and pretty exciting. I'm going to start this 15 October till 15 December. Oh yeah, and of course, the other offer that I got to kind of shortlist for an audition is for a theatre performance as well. It's a dining kind of setting whereby you need to ad-lib, but you also have to like sing and whatever not. But like I said, like the dates all clashes, so I can't do. But now I'm still having like ongoing gigs. For example, I'm doing Halloween Rover with companies like Simply Oranges, and then I also am doing Halloween Horror Nights Roadshow as the host. Yep, I'm ending my contract this 6th and 7th of October. So there's a lot of things going on, and on top of that, like I have mediacorp stuff to do, to have to appear to events like a marketing and trade event as well.
Very, very busy.
Very busy.
Yeah, I hope you knock all these opportunities out of the park.
Yes, of course.
Okay, just a couple of questions before we stop. Having won the competition, there is an expected presentation of yourself. They expect you to be the face of Surya, right? And having this clash where you are almost anti everything that stands for, like this blunt person. Moving forward, how are you walking that thin line?
Okay, for me, being the face of Surya, not only for Elit Suria, the competition, I think it's important to represent the good, represent the
delivered
kind of
as the highest standard.
Yes, at the highest standard. But for me, at the same time, like I cannot lie to myself. I'm the type of person that I cannot lie to myself. If I'm a certain way, I cannot change. Maybe I can change for the sake of like, the face value of like TV or like the image of like TV. But when I'm outside, I am myself, and I want to be perceived that way, and I want to kind of like inspire not only the Malay society, like people who are my age, the millennials, I want them to kind of
be yourself.
People may not like you, but fuck it, at the end of the day, you are being true to yourself, and that is important as part of your personal growth, so that you are not kind of inhibited with like social expectations. And that is important in our kind of living in Singapore. Yes. So there are certain things, for example, the way I kind of dress up, it's not really Surya friendly. It's not Surya friendly at all. But at the same time, it shows my personality. That means I am open to ideas. I am open to new directions. I am liberated. I am able to kind of relate to different kind of society of people, not only to my Malay people, not to only my Malay millennials, but to also Chinese, Indians. And there are certain things that we kind of experience, for example, in college or whatsoever, not that sometimes kind of change us. So I want to inspire all of them to not exactly be like me, but just stick to the true you. Just don't change for anybody else, no matter what. Yeah.
I like how you prefer to be hated for who you are rather than be loved for who you are not.
Yeah, because I just don't want to be pretentious. I feel that like, people nowadays are very pretentious in terms of like they want to be somebody else so much. They want to outshine everybody else so much, but then they forget who they really are, that actually can outshine everybody. But that's the thing, you see, all of these are all like perceptions. So it's up to you. It's a learning journey also.
How you want to
we're
be
also
accepted.
young. Yes.
All right. Any parting words for listeners?
For me, to all the listeners for Do Not Clique, I just not wanting you to be inspired by me, but just
What?
be who you are, no matter what. Love yourself, give space to yourself. You, no matter like people love you or don't like you in a certain way, fuck them. At the end of the day,
Fuck
this
'em.
this is your life. You're living it. You need to be happy in your own life. How you live it, just be you, be zen, just enjoy your life. At the end of the day, we're all gonna die anyways. Yes. I don't know how that's like inspiring for our listeners.
No.
but
I get where you're going, but I just didn't expect that we're gonna die anyways.
So why do you live to people's expectations? You get what I mean?
Yeah, I love that. Before we go off, I'm very curious. Why do you have a black swan as a necklace? Is that random?
Okay, I love Swarovski. That I have to put it out there. I love Swarovski. This is the new edition, because before this I have like the silver one, and then I had this black one because my aunt purchased it for me as a gift, because I kind of won Elit Suria and she's very proud. And then following after, I graduated with bachelor honors in like musical theater, so she's really, really proud. So she bought me a gift, and I like chose a swan because I just feel that swans are just like so elegant.
It's your spirit animal.
Yes, it's elegant. It's very simple. You don't have to outdo anything. So you just be you. You just shine there no matter what. And of course, it's like black, because my soul is
Black. You got a black soul.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, I do love black people. I'm just saying, yo.
This might actually be the longest podcast I've ever had.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we're over an hour 10 minutes. Because I feel like
my
we
God.
can. I feel like I can talk to you forever.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of things to talk about.
We are two talkative
Yes.
people on a microphone. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much for having me.
I hope you get to say your piece lah. And
Of course.
I really feel that you give a depth of you that I think a lot of people haven't seen on television.
Yeah,
on this
people
podcast.
think that like, I'm very shallow. I look so blondie, which I am not. You need to sit down and talk to me. It's just sometimes when I act, I'm just this quirky person. I'm just like a monkey. I like to like kind of like jump around and be happy. But there's this part of me that is also quite like calm, and I sound like a freaking 38, 36-year-old. Yeah.
But you're 25. All right.
23.
23. You're 23.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Thank you.